Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Realizing Your Potential Facebook group. My name is Jacqueline Kabai Harrison, and I also posted a note earlier on some goal setting tips, but I know some people are better with reading things and some people are better when things are audio. And I'm actually sitting here in my little living room, and I have on my workout clothes. So I'm doing a little something different tonight. Usually I come live to you from my elliptical, which is right over here, but I'm doing a little something different. I wanted to talk to you today about this note that I posted also. So I'm not going to do the live video with me on my elliptical. This is kind of in place of that. So at any rate, the title again is 4 steps that will help you tremendously when working to achieve your goals. Okay. So my first step was writing out your goals. Okay, as simple as that may sound. When you write out your goals, that helps it to keep it forefront in your mind. Okay, because if you write a goal and you don't constantly look at it, right, it's going to be pushed to the back of your mind. And what does that mean? That you're not going to be constantly doing things working towards that goal or inching towards that goal. So the first step is to always write it down. Okay. Writing down your goal will help keep it forefront in your mind, and that way you will continue to think about it and work towards it. That's the idea. So that's the first step. The second step I had was, I titled it Become One with Your Goal. Now that may sound a little corny, but I'm actually so serious about that. And what I mean is, and I'm just glancing here at my notes, what that means is to be constantly thinking about your goal. Whatever your goal is, okay, whatever goals you set forth for yourself for the beginning of that week, one, you're going to write it down, and secondly, you're going to be constantly thinking about that goal. I always carry some sort of a little notebook with me so I could jot down different ideas that come into my head. Whatever my goal, my long-term goals are, like I said, I've broken those down into what I'm going to achieve a particular month, for a particular month of June, let's just say. And then every week or every Sunday night, I sit down and I write down a list of goals, which are little tasks that I plan on doing that week that are inching me step by step to what my actual goals are, my actual long-term goals are. Okay. And basically the second one is becoming one with your goal. And what that means is when I get up, as soon as my feet hit the floor in the morning, I'm thinking about whatever my goals are and what I can do to put me a little bit closer to that long-term goal. So that's what I mean when I say become one with your goal. You want to think about that goal constantly, continuously. And that way you'll realize, like when you hear people talk about the law of attraction, you have to put it out there into the universe, meaning that you have to think about it consistently. And then at that point, different avenues will begin to open up for you. You'll get these different ideas like, wow, this is how I can do this, and things. And you'll see little by little things will begin to line up, and you'll be, well on your way. Again, if you take a few steps a day or a week, just think even in 6 months, how far you would have gotten towards whatever that long-term goal is. Long as every day you do a little something towards that goal, working towards that long-term goal. The third thing was talking about habits. Okay, and I know I had posted something a while back talking about how you make things a habit. And sometimes the hardest part is just starting. Okay, but once you start something, you start a pattern and you begin to do it. And it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's eating healthy, whether it's, being on time, going to work, whether it's a different, let's say maybe a different strategy that you're using towards studying for school, if you're taking online classes. It could be anything. It doesn't matter what it is. Sometimes the hardest part is just starting, right? And once you actually start and it becomes a habit, what happens? It becomes easier. You do it long enough, it won't even seem like something that you're really putting the effort into. Boom, you got it. You're doing it. I know for me, the biggest thing was like trying to eat right. trying to maybe stay away from sugary drinks and a lot of sweets and pastas and breads, But the thing of it is, once I made up my mind about it, I mean, first of all, obviously I had to lay out a plan. I had to figure out what I wasn't going to eat or what I was going to stay away from, or just eat in moderation. I had to replace that with something else, right? Once I actually replaced it with something else, okay, well, I'm going to stay away from these things, but I'm going to eat these things, right? And once I began to do it, it became a habit. And once it becomes a habit, you got it. Now, sometimes if you venture off or you fall off, you may have to do that process again to make it a habit. You know what I mean? But the idea is that once it becomes a habit, it becomes easier for you to do, and you just do it without thinking about it, So that was the third one, breaking old habits and replacing them with new ones, okay? The last one was holding yourself accountable. And basically what I mean by that is if you have a goal that you're working towards, or goals that you're working towards, you have to set up some sort of way of measuring those goals to figure out if you're actually achieving them, if you're actually checking them off of your list, right? Because otherwise, how are you going to know if you're making any progress? And also, that's part of holding yourself accountable, okay? Don't just put it out there, and don't look at your goal list. Don't try to figure out if you're actually achieving it. If you're actually inching along and actually completing these little small tasks that you're writing down for yourself at the beginning of every week. Because otherwise, again, how are you going to know if you're inching towards that goal, if you're working at it, if you're making progress, right? You have to hold yourself accountable. And I think a lot of times, I'm looking at my notes. A lot of times, if people don't give themselves deadlines, measurable outcomes in my mind equals a deadline. If you don't give yourself a deadline, sometimes it's just out there. Oh, well, when are you going to complete it? I don't know. You're going to complete it the month of June, the month of July. You're going to get it done sometime before the year ends. You got to give yourself a deadline, right? And I know a lot of people work under pressure. They got to get that deadline. If somebody don't put the fire under them, you know what I'm saying? Somebody don't put the fire under them or whatever, then they just kind of just float along and just don't really complete it. You got to learn to put the fire under yourself. Whatever it takes to motivate you. Different things motivate people differently. But that's basically what that means. Holding yourself accountable means coming up with some way to measure it, to figure out if you did it, if you got it done. What I do is I check it off of my list. That way I know that I did it, And that's my way of holding myself accountable. If you're not holding yourself accountable, again, how would you know whether you completed it or not? And it was a second piece to that. Deadlines. Also, when you hold yourself accountable, it helps you stay on track. Okay? That way you can see if you're venturing off, way out left field. You can kind of wheel yourself on back in and become a little more dedicated and a little more focused. Because you could be doing a lot of different work and a lot of different tasks. But if it's taking you in a whole bunch of different directions, right, that may not be the best route. You know what I mean? That's why it's so important to really figure out and narrow down exactly what it is that you want to do and how you feel you can get there. It's like creating a blueprint for your success, okay? And basically, a blueprint for your success is something, a specific action plan that you're going to put together for yourself that's going to lead you to achieving your end result, okay? And it's real simple. It's real easy. If you need some assistance or you want to throw an idea out there, I can look it over. That's actually the goal or the intention behind this Realizing Your Potential Facebook group, is for people that are constantly working towards goals, to be able to keep yourself motivated, to stay on task, to stay focused, and to follow it through. Anything that you decide that you want to do, if you have a clear vision of it, you map it out and you take little steps and chipping away at it, you're going to achieve that goal. Just make sure what you want that goal to be. And sometimes it may change. And that's okay. But that's all part of them being measured, your goals being measurable, and you actually taking a look at it, and seeing how you're progressing along. And you might want to modify it a little bit. You might have changed directions a little bit. But the main thing is to be clear, to be focused, and to know what that long-term goal is. And that will help you stay on task and help you stay motivated. Okay, now, in this note, I have also included a contact link. If you have any questions for me, or you'd like maybe possibly to actually get this list, there's 4 steps. If you want me to actually email it to you, I can do that. Click on the contact link, and I will get you a copy of that. That way you can have it, you can post it up, take a look at it every week, every day, whatever you need to do to get yourself focused and to get yourself on task. Also, too, I have included the link to the Realizing Your Potential Facebook group. Again, feel free to join the group if you're not ready to start posting. Oh, it's saying my battery is low. If you're not ready to start posting, you can take a look at other people's goals. You can provide encouragement and support for other people along the way. We can also pass around different resources, different things that each other have tried. We can do that. It's going to be a safe space to learn. That's my intent. So do that. You can also leave a comment in the comment section. That'll be excellent as well. I can answer it, or, whichever, But let's start working on it. Please stay motivated and focused. Also, get your goal list ready for the week. You got to get your goal list ready for the week, okay? That's your blueprint for different things that you want to achieve this week, okay? So, again, I'm going to include the links, so check it out. Hope you all have a wonderful week.